It's another edition of the Way Out Here podcast presented by the Washed Up Network and brand new sponsor. We got Manscaped, boys. Manscaped. They decided to sponsor the podcast. So if you want 20% off plus free shipping, you can go to manscaped.com. Make sure you use code WASHED on there. You know what? You don't have to take 90 minutes to shave your balls, but if you wanted to, you really could with the Lawnmower 3.0. So make sure you use code WASHED at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Absolutely bananas. We already have a sponsor, I'll be honest.
It's pretty crazy.
That's a solid sponsor.
Pretty nuts.
You just got to stay fresh with it. So good stuff. Love Manscaped.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out Manscaped for giving us all swag boxes. That was pretty
super
freaking
cool.
dope.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
you'll see Manscaped on most of our stuff here in the next couple of weeks. So but this week we had a cornhole tournament this weekend for Washed Up, which was super awesome. The boys were going to come down, eventually didn't, which broke my heart a little bit. But still, the only reason it broke my heart is because this tournament was freaking awesome. We had some videos there. 48 teams, which means there was almost 100 players playing cornhole in this like horseshoe pit. Was freaking awesome. People are drinking. People are having a good time. Shout out Andrew Clark. He got second place in the advanced division. Couldn't bring it home, but Washed Up had a dope cornhole tournament, and hopefully we have one in July. Idaho shutting back down, which is kind of sad, but
I did not know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Tell me, you got to tell me where Washington's at. You guys went backwards, right?
Dude, I think we're going back to phase 1. Somebody told me that we're going to phase 1. Yeah.
This is news to me.
So we went from
I just don't go outside, so
I don't.
We went to like phase 2. I'm barely outside, so I don't even know. But I heard that we went to phase 2, and then we were supposed to go to phase 3. They shut it down, and now they're like, because Yakima, I think, got such a high number of outbreaks within the last
Yakima ruins it for everybody, bro.
I know.
Dude, I
Here,
hate Yakima.
just wash your hands, man. Like, how hard is
They don't even
this?
they don't have clean water in Yakima, so it's kind of tough.
Dude, they keep having jailbreaks. They probably don't wash their hands either.
Yeah, jail can't afford the water, so whatever. But yeah, I think we're going back to phase 1. I don't know. This stuff's getting kind of out of control at this point, but
yeah. So Idaho's moving back to stage 3, which sounds awesome, but now all the bars and restaurants have to close again. So it's basically like it might as well be stage 1 at this point. So the cornhole tournament just skated under the rug because if we went back to stage 3 before the tournament, it would have been canceled, which would have sucked. So dude, 2 days after we have the cornhole tournament, we go back to stage 3. Not great, but glad we had the cornhole tournament. But Matt, we have some big items here to talk about, and one of them is the gaming, which is right up your alley.
We
brother.
do.
So just a little background. Mixer just basically shut down and partnered with Facebook Gaming. So Microsoft closed their gaming section and partnered with Facebook, which is big news. So Matt, you want to tell us a little bit more?
Yeah. So like Clayton said, Mixer is shutting down officially July 22nd.
Shout out my birthday.
It's like it's going to be completely gone. It's not going to be in existence. Facebook just bought like all their information, it's like all the streamers' information, and that was it. Anybody who knows who Shroud and Ninja are, everyone probably knows who Ninja is. He's a freaking rock star, pretty much. So they're technically free agents now, which is pretty cool for them because they can go back to kind of wherever. So we'll see where they go. I would imagine Ninja will go to YouTube just because he has 25 million subscribers on YouTube.
Dude, what?
So he'll probably start streaming on YouTube. And then Shroud, I bet, will go back to Twitch. Big news with that is Facebook actually tried to double their initial offer, like their contract offer, nearly doubled it. And they both declined, and they just said they wanted the money. Ninja,
because they signed huge contracts.
They signed big contracts.
Yeah.
So Ninja made $30 million from the contract. $30 million, and he was so he. To put it in perspective, he was only on Mixer for I think like a year and a half, maybe. In a year and a half, he made 30 mil just off of that contract, and that's not including anything else. Shroud actually recently moved about 6 or 7 months ago. He just got 10 mil. So they're both sitting pretty
big
good.
Boy money.
Yeah. So that's pretty much kind of the biggest news out of that. I kind of feel bad for that was the other thing I was going to talk about. I feel bad for all the Mixer streamers. They pretty much got fired over Twitter today. So like, what a shitty way to lose.
So
your
we
job.
all found out at the same time as them, huh?
Yeah. So I would imagine all the bigger streamers knew about it, like Shroud, Ninja, people who had a lot of viewers on there, but everyone else literally found out over a tweet today. So what a shitty way to lose your job.
Oh, that does suck. I know that a lot of small time streamers just moved over to Mixer instead of Twitch and all of those, just because the big dudes were doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So
not
all the big dudes were moving over, and so they wanted to do it with them. But now that it shut down, I mean, they could have had 50,000 Twitch streamers or something like that. They move over to Mixer, which 50,000 on Twitch isn't that crazy compared to freaking these huge ones. But going over to Mixer and trying to recreate that whole brand and then getting it shut down cannot feel great.
That sucks.
Yikes! And hearing it over Twitter is
the worst way to lose your job. Hey, by the way, you're fired. Send tweet.
Literally. Yeah, send tweet. I mean, if you're Mixer, like, I mean, how is that the way you're gonna go? Like, how about a company email, brother,
or
like,
something?
Just like anything. Yeah.
Not even a heads up.
I'm surprised Mixer honestly made it as long as they did, because if you think about like the bigger like streaming platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and then Facebook gaming has Facebook, obviously, huge platform with Facebook. YouTube gaming has YouTube already, so that's huge. And then Twitch is Twitch with Amazon, because Amazon bought Twitch.
Facebook gaming, are they just starting?
So they've been around.
Have they been?
They've been around for a while, just not many people uses it, because every platform kind of has their issues. Facebook is one where they will throw you as a streamer or content creator under the bus as fast as you can blink. Like if you do something on Facebook, like where you have like copyrighted music or something like that, they will literally like cancel you, shut down your stream as fast as you can. It's crazy.
Which for some people is their whole revenue stream. So
yeah, I mean you're literally talking about people's like careers nowadays. Like people do this for a living and support their families off of this stuff. So
well, and even more, like they used to do this with businesses. Just being at my company now, we had 3 or 4 pages that had over 100,000 likes, and like it was a main revenue stream. And I forget what video pissed Facebook off on our platform, but they shut all of our pages down for like 3 weeks, and we couldn't get them back. And so think of like 3 pages getting 300,000 likes and then getting them all shut down. And the content, whatever you post on Facebook, people don't know this, but whatever you post on Facebook is owned by Facebook. We were posting like, we had private groups of like coaching and business oriented stuff that in the blink of an eye, like Facebook just took away from us, which is crazy. So it's the same thing for streamers though. They can get shut down, and whatever you post on Facebook is theirs, even though you may be getting paid by Facebook tomorrow, they could say, see ya. So
literally they can. Yeah. That's crazy.
Pretty crazy, but wild move. I'm excited to see what Shroud and Ninja do. It seemed like, was there any indication that they were upset at Mixer or like not happy at Mixer?
I don't think so. It was just honestly the fact that Mixer didn't. So Mixer is coming out with like a new product that's supposed to like go out to every single gamer in the world, and Mixer didn't have the platform to do that. So Mixer was like, Mixer is owned by Microsoft, if people didn't know. I think it was they're out, in my opinion, of like not having enough viewers, because dude, if you look at the viewership compared to the other streaming platforms, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Even this, like some article I read today, one of their like PR guys literally said that. They're like, the viewership is nowhere near any of these other platforms. And so they decided to get out of where they were at and just sell all their assets and everything like that. So, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like a cut your losses deal, where
and that's
they
exactly
knew it was coming. You might as
Yeah.
well cut your losses. I mean, you paid freaking Ninja $30 million, and
Dude,
you
so much money.
just almost wasted all that money because the platform folded anyway. So crazy stuff in the gaming world. The next one is actually Taylor's avenue here. So we're touching all the sectors here. So we're going to fighting now. Mike Tyson and Jon Jones, they've been mixing it up on Twitter, and basically Mike Tyson is a freaking tank again. So he's been posting his workout videos and all of that. And finally, Jon Jones, he challenged Jon Jones, which Taylor, you know more about this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was more of a challenge. He just was talking a bunch of smack. Mike Tyson's, I think he was kind of rebuttaling to Dana White's comments last week about how UFC is doing bigger numbers in boxing and boxing's doing low numbers, like next to cornhole and stuff like that. And yeah,
So
and
funny.
yeah, which it absolutely is hilarious. But Tyson gets on there, and I mean, he makes a valid point. He said that any top boxer in HBO is making twice as much as even the top paid athletes in the UFC, which is fair. You know, boxing's been around longer than the UFC has. HBO had exclusive deal with boxing and was paying the fighters millions of dollars to fight, you know, and UFC guys are only getting thousands, you know, maybe hundreds of thousands. Like if you look at any of the top like 15 guys, you know, they're making between anywhere like 60 grand to 150 to 200 grand. Top 5 guys, maybe around 500 grand. And then you got your exclusive guys. So McGregor, Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier, Francis Ngannou, names that everybody kind of recognizes and sees. Those guys would be up like closer to the higher 100,000, like $800,000, $900,000. But all that stuff kind of depends on like your pay-per-view buys and everything like that. So, you know, the name's always going to make more no matter what. You know, boxing has the same thing. Everybody's going to pay more money to see a Floyd Mayweather fight versus like a Gervonta Davis, which Gervonta Davis is a absolute savage. He's a stud, and there's no reason that guy should be making less than Floyd, but the only reason is because he's lower ranked and he's not as well known.
As much. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So but yeah, anyways, Tyson comes up on Instagram Live just talking that smack, saying that he'd whip up Jon Jones. And knowing Jon Jones, he just loves he loves to push people's buttons, and he responds back to Tyson.
Drug tests also, so.
Dude, somebody commented on it and was like, I would love to see these two do cocaine together. so
absolutely not.
The two, like, literally, these are the two most like well-known names within those fighting games, but they're also like the most recognized for the amount of crap that they've done. Like you got Jon Jones, who's gotten busted for steroids, you know, PEDs. He's got busted for drugs.
Speaking of steroids, we talked about it last week, how all steroids should be legal in all sports. This is a fight where there should be no sanctions. I wish Tyson and Jon Jones could just do steroids and then watch them fight. That'd be awesome. That would be so awesome.
Listen, I think Tyson's probably doing some. Tyson's doing either testosterone or he's
53. Like he has to be doing something. He's
he's jacked now too. Yeah, he lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, because he was kind of pudgy, and now
he was
all this
big. He wasn't pudgy. He was fat, dude.
Yeah, he was a thick ass boy. But now he's came back and he's just like he's still a monster and challenges Jon Jones to a boxing fight. And Jon's like, yeah, I'm listening. Let's do it. And then he responds and says, I'll fight you in a boxing match, but you have to fight me in an MMA match afterwards. And he goes, I respect you enough that I won't break anything on you. Which, all right, if we're going to break this down, if we're doing a boxing match between Tyson and Jones, Tyson's going to win. Tyson's got the experience. Tyson's got the power. Tyson's still got timing. Like if you watch any of his training videos, that dude has not lost a second on his quick twitch muscles and his reaction times. And he's done it so long and he's done it so well that his movement within a ring would still probably outmatch Jon. Jon's got reach advantage.
How old is Jon Jones?
Jon's only like mid-30s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he like 34?
Yeah, he's like early 30s.
Like 34.
And I mean, he's, you know, so Tyson's got all these accolades in boxing and he's the best at it. But then you're going to go to the MMA side. So now you got Jon Jones, who's a multi-time champion, has defeated probably the most savage people within the light heavyweight class that anyone's seen in the UFC for the last 15 years. And when you go from boxing to MMA, dude, now you're throwing in wrestling, you got jiu-jitsu, you got kicks, you got different types of boxing, you got dirty boxing, you got your regular boxing, you got Thai clinches, you got the Muay Thai kicks, and there's just so much different
He'd
stuff
get
that happens.
smoked. Like,
Dude,
bottom
yeah.
line, Tyson would get smoked. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be that close, to be honest.
No.
And Jon Jones is so freaking lanky. His kicks would absolutely buckle Tyson.
He's quick too. Like,
Yeah.
he's fast.
Yeah. John hasn't lost a step either. So to see those two do fights like that would be cool. If you want me to put money on it, I don't think it would happen. But to talk about it and to kind of have that like fantasy fight would
what
be
if?
sweet.
Yeah.
But we also said the same thing about Floyd and Connor, like a year before that even happened. Everybody was like, no, they're just talking. It's not going to happen. And then all of a sudden signing deals and they're doing press
I think it's more
conferences and all sorts of
realistic.
stuff.
I think it's more realistic for Jones to go boxing.
100%.
And then if for Tyson, it's like Floyd, he would never get in a UFC ring.
You'd be so stupid to do that.
Oh yeah. If he would, I mean, he's at this point 52-0 in boxing, and then he step one foot inside a UFC ring to jeopardize all that and get just waxed. That would probably be the only thing that people remember of you is Connor just putting you in a body bag for 3 minutes and getting knocked out in the first round by some freaking head kick or some left hook or something like that.
Some shoulder.
Yeah, right. I couldn't even imagine.
Shrug. Yeah, nah, it'd be a cool fight to watch, but I don't think it would happen. But you never know.
I hope they do it so I can bet on it.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
So I can put $1 bazillion on Jon Jones winning the UFC ring.
that fight would sell though, 100%.
Oh yeah,
that fight would sell so fast, and people all over the world will watch that. I would pay big money to see that. That'd be awesome.
What would be like your max dollars you spend on like a fight like that? What would be like the max?
About 150.
Oof.
Dude, they should have a mega card. Floyd should go over and face Connor. Tyson should go over and face Jones. And we should just have a mega match. I'd pay like $300 for that. I mean, I'd watch it with you guys and we'd split it.
Yeah,
so
for real.
It would be
like I wouldn't pay $300 myself, but
No, I wouldn't pay it myself. I'd tell people to chip in, but I mean, still would be cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tagging, chip in. Tagging, you're watching it too.
No, yeah.
All right. Other things this weekend. Father's Day obviously was on Sunday. So, I was going to – this topic got brought up obviously because I just wanted to know what the Doyles and the Glidewells were up to for Father's Day. What does a usual Father's Day for you guys look like?
For me this year, I mean, normally my dad cooks.
I would hate, poor Kevin, dude. Nobody's going to make food better than him. So he knows it.
Yeah. So generally,
dude, just let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, which he normally doesn't, but he has like occasionally, we'll usually just go out. Or like this Sunday, they actually just got back from Walla Walla this weekend visiting my grandparents. Okay. So they were like driving back on Father's Day. So I think we just ordered like some pho and hung out and like watched some movies with them and just chilled, and it was fun. It was cool.
Dude, Father's Day just looked a lot different this year because there was no
weird.
Baseball, like nothing. Usually like Father's Day, everybody's wearing the blue bands and you got the blue bats and all of that crazy stuff. But it felt kind of eerie this Sunday, which was kind of strange. But Taylor, what did the Glidewell household look like?
Didn't do much. Just hung out. Me and my dad usually go ride. That's what he likes to do, and obviously what I like to do too. We both enjoyed that. So we just went to a friend's house, went and rode, did a couple motos, drank some beer, and then ended up having a barbecue at the house. And then finished off the night with an intense game of Uno.
That would be wild at the Glidewells.
Dude,
that's all I'm saying. Dude. That would get rowdy.
Oh my God.
There is no love between any of us
if you draw to somebody, body bag.
You should, dude. I'm gonna film it next time. The battles my mom and my dad have against each other in Uno is like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, they go hard. They'll literally stack up cards and just wait till it reverses to one of them, and then they'll just lay them down round after round after round. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. I love to watch it. But yeah,
Dude,
it's
we're gonna have a
intense.
way out here Uno tournament at the Glidewells. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's planned, bro.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
sick.
We're gonna IG live this bad boy and
Yeah.
see what the Glidewells got.
Yeah, got to do it. But yeah,
Dude, I saw you guys jumping a razor over the weekend.
Yeah.
Who was that? Your dad?
Dude. No, it was a neighbor guy. Lives across the street from that track that we were riding at. He just like, he's a good dude, super awesome guy. Just like he's super casual. Like he rides dirt bikes, but he just bought this razor probably like 6 months ago, something like that. So we've seen him out ripping on it a couple times. It's like brand new, super nice, and he'll go rip around the track on it. And me and my dad were kind of getting him to, hey, why don't you go jump that thing? Hey, why don't you go jump that thing? And this guy,
I see.
the guy was like, no fear. And he's like, hold my beer, watch this. And he just comes around this little tabletop, and then he jumps this double. And those things are so goofy because they always jump like front end low.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to go over, but man, he sent it. It was awesome.
Dude,
To
it
watch.
was sick
looked
to
really
watch.
cool. It would look really cool. But
Yeah.
those things look heavy. Like that thing came down like a freaking rock. It did not look like it was gonna land that peacefully.
Yeah, no, it was not something I would do, but you know, that's super cool to watch. I'll record it and tell you get her going. Just
Hey,
send
we'll
it,
stand
bud.
by the camera any day of the week. Hell yeah,
buddy. Absolutely.
To tie Father's Day and the UFC in together, Sean O'Malley's tweet at Ben Askren over the weekend. It's pretty messed up that he hasn't wished me a happy Father's Day yet. That was
so funny.
hilarious.
Oh,
It went viral basically on UFC Twitter, but oh my God, Sean O'Malley. We're going to, if we have to beg for Sean O'Malley to be on the podcast, it's just what we have to do. I swear. We have to have him on.
Dude, he's became a character in the last year. He's super funny.
He's
I just watched him on Joe
hilarious.
Rogan.
Yeah.
It was an old one, but like I just watched his interview, and it was after his big fight, and so Joe Rogan's just kind of like grilling him on different things because it was the fight after his suspension for a couple years, and so he's just going through all of that stuff. But dude, I love that dude. I don't know why, but he's such a funny guy.
Dude, O'Malley's hilarious. And Askren's funny too, because he just talks all sorts of smack on Twitter. And you know, they got a whole curly headed gang going on in the UFC. They got they got Sean O'Malley, Ben Askren, they got who was that? Luis Pena, who violent Bob Ross. If you guys have never seen that guy, he literally looks like Bob Ross. And his Twitter handle is Violent Bob Ross. It's the funniest thing ever. Guy's a stud, but he hopped in there too. He's like, "What about me, man? Am I the redheaded stepchild of the curly-headed gang?" Like, dude, the curly-headed kids in the UFC just got a little clan going, so it's kind of funny to watch the banner going back and forth.
That's hilarious. I love that. And then Sean O'Malley just tops it off with his rainbow hair, a little Tekashi 6ix9ine action. So,
well, when you're that good, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want to do.
Dude, and then he puts it in cornrows, and it just looks even more ridiculous. So it's a rainbow cornrows little deal. He's so good.
You know what's ridiculous is getting knocked out the way that other dude did by a rainbow-headed kid like that. Yeah.
I actually saw a replay. I had no idea, and this was a couple of weekends ago, where he had that knockout and one of the coolest like walk away videos of all time. But I had no idea he faked an uppercut and then went after him. I guess I just neglected to watch that part of the video. But this dude would like flinch because he was throwing an uppercut at him. So he flinched and he was vulnerable and he just got tagged in the face. So I thought it was even cooler today. So I got to relive it for like 30 minutes.
It was beautiful. It was very beautiful.
And then you can hear Rogan going insane too in the background, which is even cooler. So, staying on wrestling, apparently, Undertaker, apparently he's retiring. Were you guys ever big WWE guys or WWF or any of that?
I think when I was like 7, and then I grew out of it within 6 months.
Do you guys have a favorite WWE?
I mean,
Yes.
I would say The Rock for me. If I had to pick one, he's just, dude, he's
Iconic.
that dude. He's just that dude. Like he's just so cool, calm, cool, and collected. He's awesome.
Dude, that era of like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Mankind, like that was the funnest time in WWE because that was kind of before UFC got really big in the US. So that was kind of all we had was the fake wrestling, which, I mean,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Wait, it's not
What?
fake?
Are you kidding?
this is the thing. Like, obviously, everybody knows it's staged and everything like that. But you can't tell me, like, dudes who are hopping on 12-foot ladders and jumping off of them and landing on people on tables is fake.
Oh,
Like, that
that's
stuff,
not fake.
that stuff
No.
is crazy.
I was actually listening to an interview. It was a Barstool interview, and they were talking. And it was, I think Stone Cold was talking about it. He's like, it is obviously stage wrestling or whatever, but the athletic achievements that you have to do to get to that point. And so apparently they have, so in Florida somewhere, they have a training center where their minor leagues basically train to go up to the WWE. But they had football players go to the training facility and they tested against some of the wrestlers. And some of the wrestlers were having better 40 times, better verticals, things like that, where it's like, oh, you think we're not athletes, it's just like stage and whatever, like we're having a good time. But these are like real athletes out here doing crazy stuff, jumping off these ropes and things like that. It's like, obviously it's fake. Obviously there's a lot of showmanship, but just the athletic ability of some of these people are freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So, but The Undertaker's apparently retiring, which is a big deal because he's been in the game for so freaking long. Matt, you said The Rock was one of your favorites. Taylor, did you have a favorite guy back in the day? Mine was CM Punk for some reason. Do you guys remember him?
Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Dude, he ruled it for a while.
Yeah, for a bit. I mean, he was pretty good.
And then Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was always my guy back in the day because he was like the biggest dude I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he's got that sick ass Samoan tattoo on his arm. Love that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think mine was either The Rock or Stone Cold. I really like both of those guys.
Cold it has to be Stone Cold since Taylor whips it out every other weekend
all the time.
So, we'll post some videos of Taylor just mastering the art of Stone Cold.
Yeah, it's my signature move, so it's no big deal. I have it down to a T.
You do.
Some are just born with talent, so
just practice it in the shower every day.
It's a gift. What can I say?
Every morning, you're just practicing it.
Taylor takes shower beers to the next level. Just Stone Colds him over
Mom,
his face.
2 more.
He's like catching him above the shower head. Just Mom, 2 more. She's like whipping you Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, buddy.
That's amazing. What was his beer choice? Was it Busch Light?
Budweiser.
Nice.
Budweiser. Always had 2 buds. He'd just like go out to the crowd. He's like, hey, for some reason, everybody brought cans of beer and they would just toss straight up cans of beer. And he's just like, like, it was so awesome.
Even more impressive of the beer chug, the catches that he would make with both hands.
Seriously.
I mean, like, that's cold beer. It's not like sticky or anything. I mean, it's wet. There's
he doesn't have gloves on.
So yeah, exactly. So to catch those all the time, I think I've only seen him drop it like once, and it was a bad toss.
Yeah, well, that's just true athleticism at its finest right there. So
yeah, I bet they have the NFL players go down and test for that in their facility.
Where does Odell Beckham learn how to catch footballs?
Yeah, Ocho Cinco's just getting tips from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, if you can catch a beer, you could catch a football.
I love them to see them work out together. Stone Cold Steve Austin is taking a 3-step drop and then just throwing a fade to Ocho Cinco.
You gotta chug it now.
He's just dropping the cans. He's like, no, you drink it.
Don't waste that beer. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we had solid topics today, but on Thursday, we're gonna go into segments here in a minute. But on Thursday, we have our first ever guest. And we sent out a poll to see who we wanted it to be, see who other people wanted it to be. The most requested was none other than Megan Edwards, our longtime friend.
Woo.
Megan Edwards.
Oh, yep. Yeah. The master of hair.
The master of hair, and also one of the funniest people we know. So
yes.
Absolutely.
She's hilarious, and we've known her forever and ever. And then we've obviously known her boyfriend forever, went to school with him too. So we're gonna have a ton of fun on Thursday. So Megan's gonna be our first ever guest. She's gonna do one Wack Thing with us. She's gonna do the conspiracy segment, which is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for Megan to chime in on some of these conspiracies she's a record player connoisseur apparently. So we'll have to ask her about that when she gets on. But all right, it's segment time. Everybody's favorite time of the podcast. We have one Wack Thing. Let's see. I know Taylor's already. Matt, do you have a good one this week?
I don't know if it's good. I just thought it was definitely whack. I couldn't really figure something out until I was scrolling through Facebook today, having a wonderful day today. and there's these like pictures. And I couldn't really figure what out. Like I just had no idea what they were. And the caption said, "So glad I emailed my kid's doctor about his constipation." And it's literally the kid's shit all over his car seat. And I'm like, nobody wants to see that. Like, I'm sorry,
dude.
but
Big
nobody
yikes.
wants to see that. Like,
Oh,
come on.
Big
Really?
yikes, bro.
That's whack. Get that out of here.
That is
man.
whack. Please,
That's-
if
that's
you're
rough.
that's next level Facebook right there.
Like,
Yeah.
just, oh God, oh honey.
How did that not get taken down? Somebody report
I
that.
reported
My
it. I
God.
did. I reported it and then unfriended her. 'Cause I'm like, I don't want to see this. I do not want to see this ever again.
You went,
That's terrible.
you went through the whole sequence that Facebook asked you for. It's like, is this harmful to you? You're like, absolutely. Unfriend. It's
I
just
could
went
smell
through
it through my phone. Like, get it out of here.
Matt's done.
Oh.
Matt's like, yeah, that's it. No more.
Yep.
No more. I'm out.
It's so embarrassing for the parents regardless, but to like put it on social media is the next level, bro. Like it's ooh.
Like, if it's one thing, like the way I thought about it, it's one thing if it's like a rash and like stuff like that. Like, I get, because people might know what it could be. Like, they have other kids. But like, dude, you're really just gonna take a picture of your kid's shit and put it on Facebook?
Have some respect for your kid and yourself.
Yeah, like he's gonna grow up and see this one day, mom. Like,
I can't wait. I can't wait till we have kids and that just becomes the new norm. Matt's
I
posting
swear to God,
pictures of his kid's shit all the time.
Dude, that's
Guys,
a good
what
point.
does this mean? Guys, what does this mean?
Hey, can you guys see what this means? It's got corn in it. What does that mean?
That's actually a good point. Like when the kids get older, this generation that's getting filmed on Facebook and Instagram constantly, and there's just some weird crap. Like when they get older, and like all that's still on social
Facebook.
media.
Here's your 13-year memory.
Yeah.
It's just shit.
You remember when you shit
Your
the
mom
car
is
seat?
tagging you in them like 13 years
I
later
remember this
because
time.
you're
You were
now on
so
Facebook.
cute.
Oh no!
Oh,
dude.
yikes. Dude,
Oh.
that is so funny. I love that. I actually just had this conversation with somebody about all the things that we post on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Like eventually our kids are going to be able to see that because it lives
Absolutely.
forever. And it's like, Dad, you were doing what? Dad? Like, oh my God. And then they scroll. It's like, Mom, what were you doing? Mom, yeah, you beer bombed 3 days in a row on Instagram. Like, geez, slow down. Like things like that, where all of a sudden they turn 12 and find their mom's Twitter. It's just
Oh,
Twitter's a
whack.
whole different ballgame, dude.
Yeah, Twitter gets crazy. It's like it's like the dumbed down Reddit. So I mean, and still dumbed down is probably not a great term for it. So, all right, Tay, what's your one whack thing?
all right. One whack thing for me.
You'll
So-
never guess where this is from.
Hey, guess what, people?
Alabama.
It's hard. Well, that should be a new one, but no, this is Florida. We're going back to Florida, people. The great state
Always.
of Florida. So, Florida man carrying nearly 500 grams of weed tries to steal plane to meet girlfriend. Starts out apparently. So this dude like hopped in this random guy's car, offering the driver $1,000 in cash to drive him to California. Guy obviously was kind of freaked out and was like, no, I'm not going to give you a ride to California. And so the guy flipped out, bounced out of the car, left his grinder, left his cell phone, and left a measuring scale. So this guy's already just the most forgetful drug dealer of all time. So then this man proceeds to go to the airport. Cops get called by the driver. Cops show up. By the time the cops had shown up, the airport had actually made a call saying that there is a man with a blue duffel bag running around the airport like takeoff area where like all the baggage is like below the planes. And there were reports that the guy was asking all the flight attendants and all the guys on the floor like, hey, do you guys know how to fly a plane? Do you guys know how to fly planes? And obviously,
Which
those
is
guys
just
were
an
like,
automatic red flag. Like if
Dude.
you're asking flight attendants how to fly a plane, not a great start.
My first thought is like when you're loading bags and you see some random dude just come up to, hey man, you know how to fly planes? I'd be like, where did you come from? Like what is going on?
Yeah, that would be my red flag right there. Like,
Yeah.
Security, hello?
Yeah.
This guy's trying to
Obviously.
steal a plane.
Yeah, obviously. So that's why he, gets cops called on him. So the cops, they end up getting to the terminal in time for him to be in cockpit of a airplane. And he's in the plane asking more flight attendants how you fly this plane.
Is he holding the plane up? Like, how
Yes.
is he securing this plane?
Yeah, it was an empty plane. Honestly, I have no idea how this guy got on the plane. No, there's nobody knows. He just ended up on this plane, empty plane. Obviously, it doesn't take off because the guy has no idea what he's doing. This guy is the most like unprepared drug dealer of all time. Like, if you're gonna jack a plane, you better know at least somewhat how to get it off the ground. So, cops detain him. They end up finding like meth on him and the 500 grams of weed. And his excuse to the police was, "Oh, I just bought this plane. That's why they were trying to let me fly it." And the cops were like, "No, no." And he goes,
It
"Yeah,
says Alaska on the side of it.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
didn't buy this plane.
they didn't buy this plane." And he's telling the cops that, "Yeah, security let me through. It will be noted, there's no security on the ground letting people through." So this guy just is making crap up, obviously. So just wild Florida stories once again. But,
My only question for him was, did he or did he not receive a text from his girlfriend saying her parents weren't home?
That's fair. That's
True.
a game changer.
Had
That's
to steal
a game
that
changer.
plane, dude.
Yeah.
If they're not home,
Had to steal
I'm
it.
flying a motherfucking plane.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, seriously.
I'll watch a 5-minute YouTube video on how to fly a plane. I might die, but hey.
That's why he forgot all the stuff in the car, dude. All the scale and all of that. His girl sent him a text, and he was like, "I'm out of here. I got to get a plane real quick."
Yeah, he's got stuff on his mind. He's got stuff to do.
Yeah, like a little far away. All right, my one whack thing comes out of Missouri, which I think I've done Missouri a couple of times actually, which is funny. But there was a dude that was pulled over, and he was basically just getting a simple speeding ticket. He then proceeds to drive through a hayfield all the way to the river in Missouri, and then he jumps out of the car, goes into the river, floats the entire river almost to the city, and makes it. And he's just running, soaking wet through the town square. And I don't know what town it is, but he escaped from the cops for 5 hours by floating a river. Jumped in the river, floated the river, escaped from the cops. 5 hours. It started at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is a wild thing to jump in a river at 9 a.m., even in Missouri.
That's ice cold.
He got arrested at like 1:30 p.m. So
What a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
hell of a ride. He was just trying to float the river, dude. Leave him alone.
Atta boy.
At first, when I saw this story, I thought he drove the car into the river and just floated the car down the river, which was way more whack. But hey,
That would have been super cool, though.
eluding the police for 5 hours by floating the river isn't a bad thing. If you tried to do that in Spokane, you'd probably die.
You definitely would.
Yeah. So escaping death or yeah.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Next segment, we have top one worst. And then because of Father's Day, we're going to do top one worst TV and movie dads. So I'll go first on this one. Top one worst in my book, TV or movie dad. I had to go with Frank Gallagher from Shameless. He is just a degenerate in every sense of the word. He like games the welfare game. He basically takes checks from his kids. I think for the first 4 seasons, he was getting welfare checks from his dead grandma for forever to support his kids. And he wasn't even supporting his kids. He's just a degenerate drunk. So Frank Gallagher, top of the list, even though he's hilariously funny on Shameless. Have you guys watched Shameless?
Yeah.
I've seen like a couple episodes.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
so
a crazy
freaking
show.
funny. It's so Chicago, it hurts. Like
Yeah.
just everything about
Chicago.
it. Everything about it just feels like Southside Chicago.
Yeah, that does.
Frank Gallagher takes my top one. Matt, what about you?
So mine is Red Foreman from That 70s Show. He's so funny, but I don't think one time he calls his son by his first name. He just calls him dumbass. Like,
Nope.
for 6 seasons, he just calls his son dumbass. Like,
Dude, the wife is equally
That's
funny too in
terrible.
that 70s show. But yeah, the dad is like that hard ass dad.
he's like super strict, and then he just calls his son a dumbass all the time.
Oh man,
It's so funny, but he's such an ass about it.
dude, Red is like the old school dad for sure.
Oh yeah.
Old school.
yeah.
Gotta love
He's
it.
like that mechanic guy, the handyman, and his son is just like kind of this nerdy piece of shit that he doesn't like. And so I know the mom is always like, be nice to him and like things like that. Don't call him a dumbass.
So
Oh,
funny.
dude. Yeah, it's great. I love Red. It was super
Top
funny.
one worst Taylor TV and movie dads.
I'm gonna do Frank from Hot Rod. It's gonna be
Oh, it's a little throwback.
Yeah, dude. Hot Rod stepdad is like one of the worst, best dads ever. Just literally lights a fire up that guy's butt every time he's on screen. It's so funny, the amount of just like crap talking they have and the fight scenes that they have to. He's trying to earn Frank's respect. That whole movie.
Dude, when
that's
they
right.
fight,
That's so
oh
funny.
my god,
The-
so funny.
The last fight scene where he does that Tai Chi move to make him shit his pants is the funniest part of that whole movie. The whole movie. It's so good.
Oh, I
man.
love it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely probably one of the worst ones. Even
Yeah,
when he's about to get heart surgery, he's just like, "You suck. You're not even
I
a
know,
man."
it's so funny.
He's like trying to raise money to help him. He's like, "I'm trying to make you better so I can kick your asshole, man."
Oh, what a classic movie with Andy Samberg.
Yeah,
So
too.
good.
Like
So
such
good.
a good movie. It's just a very that movie kind of like catapulted Andy Samberg too
Oh,
to
yeah.
True,
into
yeah.
the role. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine now is one of the funniest shows on television, and now it's
Oh,
picked
dude.
up by what, NBC?
Yeah,
So
I think
it
it
went on
got
Fox.
yeah,
Yeah.
it got picked up by NBC. I think season 5 or 6 it got picked up by NBC. It's a little softer now. It's not as
Yeah,
edgy as
way
it was on
softer.
Fox, but it's still super funny.
It's still good. Yeah.
They still maintain most of the characters too, which
do.
is what
Yeah,
I
they
love.
do.
So
Yeah.
usually when they switch platform or switch, because Andy Samberg obviously has the NBC hookup because he was on SNL for
Yeah.
ever.
So long.
Yeah.
So like he knows Al Michaels and all those guys at NBC. But yeah, for that whole cast to go over there with and not miss a beat is pretty freaking cool. But all right, guys, we have a new segment. It's the Tuesday mailbag, so we're going to do this every other week. So we're going to do top one worst and then Tuesday mailbag, and we're going to switch them off. But today we have both of them. So if you have questions for us, we're going to post the questionnaire on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you can either answer those questionnaires or you can DM us as well to ask us anything, and we can answer it on the podcast here live. It's completely anonymous. So we're not going to say names or anything like that unless you want us to say your name. So if you're scared of that, don't be. We're not going to rat you out if you ask us a whack ass question. We already do one whack thing on here. We don't need to do another one. So the first one on here that we had was how would you want to die, and what would be the worst way to die?
Dude, I would want to die just like super fast, just put like a bullet through my head. I think the worst way to die would be like to like drown or get like stabbed in the stomach. Ugh.
Yeah, mine was by fire, like getting burned alive or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you're because you don't die of the burns, you die of the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
So like you choke to death. So like you can't technically burn to death unless it's like burning arteries or something like that, which it's super hard to do. So burning to death. But I agree, Matt. Drowning would be because have you ever had those dreams where you like wake up and you were like underwater or something and you feel like you're drowning and you like gasp and you wake up from a dream and you're like, oh god damn, that was the worst. I hate that.
That'd be terrible. Yeah, I don't know. Drowning would be bad. I think another horrible way to go would be jumping off of a tall building to your death.
I mean, it would be instant though.
Like, yeah, but the thing
depends
is, like,
on how tall the building is, though. If it takes you 3 minutes to get to the ground, and you're like, oh my god.
I'd be huffing and puffing all the way up to the top and just bail.
That's the thing, though. Is like you have to be you're just winded by the time you get up there. Like, I can't even do
get
it.
up there.
My legs are shaking. I can't get up on the ledge.
I'm just gonna take a nap. I'm good. I'm taking a nap.
I'm taking a nap right here.
This is not even worth it anymore.
Yeah, dude. Nah, man. That's the problem though too. It's like you have to find a building high enough that you would die from, because if you don't, you're just gonna break stuff and become a vegetable at some point. So
That's
I mean,
true.
it's just
that would suck. I feel like it'd be worse to live like that after you did something like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's their intentions when that happens. But,
True, but
Yeah,
still, it would
no,
still
that-
suck.
I mean,
Worse than dying, you live, and you
Yeah.
have to be in pain your whole life from the stupid thing you did.
I think
what happened?
I think honestly, the way I'd want to go is like in my sleep. Like I just would, if I just like went to bed and just like didn't wake up, that'd be like the most peaceful way to go for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am like I can't do water. Like I have a horrible phobia of drowning, and then I always have dreams.
Can you
of, like,
swim?
barely. So I I can keep above water for about 0.52 seconds. So
Hey, there you go. It is hilarious to just hear you say that because you're like a fit dude saying you can't like swim or anything.
I thought
like,
he'd be
wait,
like a
what
fish
the
in the
hell,
water,
bro?
dude. You're like freaking the
this
next
is the
Michael
guy
Phelps.
that tells us he goes on like 11-mile jogs just for fun,
that's
and
different.
he can't like
It's
do
so
a
much
lap
different.
in the water. Like,
No, dude. All right. So I tried to do that like a few years back because I'd seen like a bunch of videos about pro motocrossers were like doing water training. And I was like, yeah, that might be a different way to like do stuff because it's easier on your joints. That's why they do it. And it's so much harder than you think it is. Like you get in that water and you do one lap down. I did half of one way down. I was winded. I literally felt like I just ran 15 miles.
It's
It was,
tough.
and
dude,
like you can't,
swimming
like,
burns a ton of calories too.
yeah. And I obviously don't swim right, so my face is just in the water the whole time, just like arms flapping and legs going everywhere. And I'm
The
not
least
swimming
efficient
straight.
swimmer of all time.
Yeah,
Just gassed by the first lap.
yeah, people are probably staring at me like, "What
Is he
is
drowning?
going on?" Yeah, I'm just like veering
just swimming.
left, just veering off.
The
into
lifeguard's like
corner.
blowing her whistle and everything to jump in the water toes. Like,
Throwing
no,
the
I'm fine. I'm
floaty
just
at
working
him.
out, dude.
I'm
Like,
just trying to get some laps in, bro. Trying to get the
yeah,
next,
exactly.
trying to get that gold medal.
Yeah.
Get off
You do
me. No.
the sandlot.
Yeah.
The sandlot where he pretends to drown.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, next question. So I feel like we're all are in agreement on the wanting to die pretty quick or in your sleep because like you hear like old people die in their sleep all the time. I'm like, that's the way I want to go.
Yeah.
I just want to go in my sleep. But second question, a lot more lighthearted here. Would you rather have to chug a bottle of tequila or a pot of boiling hot coffee? Both of these sound terrible. Just prefacing this.
Is the boiling hot coffee Starbucks?
Does it matter?
Let's
Is
go.
there one that you would chug and one that you wouldn't?
It's Folgers.
Probably not. It would be tequila.
It's full. Yeah, it's the packets. It's instant coffee.
Ugh, nope, tequila.
Oh,
I don't like that pleb shit.
Dude, actually, Megan's coming on Thursday, but we have a funny story of her boyfriend Avery and his instant coffee story in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
We were
Yeah.
obviously we were camping when we were all 19, and you're legal to drink in British Columbia when you're 19. And so we went up to Nelson, Canada, and we were all camping and drinking, having a good time. And so to get rid of his hangover, Avery decides to chug instant coffie. It literally put him out of business for like 7 hours. Like he threw up in the ocean probably, or the lake there so many times I can't even remember because he chugged instant coffee and just projectiles. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen.
It even smelled bad. Like I don't even understand. He literally he's like, you want something? I'm like, no, I don't want any of that. It
Why would
literally
we want
smells
that
like
at all?
it smells like topsoil is what you're about to drink right now. And he just slams it, and I'm like, you're gonna die. Like that's not staying down. Just 15 minutes later on a dot, just throwing up so bad. Yeah, I felt terrible for that kid.
Because that's the day we also went to the hot springs, and so we were all swimming around. I remember him staying in the car and just like I'm just gonna stay here for a little bit, and he's just like laying back in the passenger seat. He looked like he was dying.
Yeah, poor kid.
Super funny. Okay, we got to answer this: bottle of tequila or a pot of coffee, boiling hot coffee.
Tequila all day. At least I'm getting something out of that tequila. If I'm drinking hot boiling coffee, I'm going to get a burnt tongue and maybe awake for like 15 minutes. So
I'm just thinking of my throat. Like, could you imagine the repercussions it would have on your throat for life? Actually, you might die if you chug a bottle of tequila, though.
That's what I was thinking.
A burnt throat or death? Who knows? I don't know.
But at least you have a chance. Like with tequila, they can pump your stomach or something, you know?
True.
Yeah,
both of these sound awful.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're listening to this, please don't do either of these. We don't want to find out.
We don't condone.
Someone DMs us like, dude, I would definitely take to the tequila. Watch this. I do not want that at all.
Yeah, don't send us any videos of you chugging full bottles. Wink, wink.
No.
But if you do,
we might post it on IG. So just tag us. No, we're not liable for anybody who does that.
Dude, have you guys seen those videos of those guys that'll just like throw a whole bottle down and like that one guy that put a straw in a Jack Daniels bottle and
dude, Shoe Nice. You guys
Dude.
remember those videos that were super famous back in the day?
Yeah,
Shoe Nice.
Shoe Nice was nasty. He
People didn't
chugged
believe that he was
everything.
doing it, so he would crack the bottle like on
Oh.
camera, and then he would do it. And obviously, you're like, and he wouldn't do just one bottle either. He would do
No.
like 2, 3 at a time, which I don't know how that's even humanly possible. He must have had a nurse for a wife or something that would just instantly give him an IV bag and air him out. I don't know. That sounds crazy.
He just sounded like somebody that's chugged a lot of alcohol. He was so slur. Like every time he talked, he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys? So we're gonna cracks a whole like fifth of vodka or whiskey or something." He didn't even chug just alcohol either. He chugged like a bunch of different stuff too, which was
you're right.
Nasty. Just
Gross.
for some views on YouTube.
He was king of YouTube for a while though. When YouTube first came out back in the day, like we watched his stuff all the time. I wonder how he's doing. I'm sure not very well.
Probably not alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably dead, but who knows?
Not great. Shout out Shoe Nice. So probably not doing well. All right. Well, that is all the segments and the topics we have. We had a good show today, boys. This was
sweet.
Awesome. Thursday, again, we have Megan Edwards coming on the podcast. And then as always, now we're sponsored by Manscaped. So make sure you go to manscaped.com, use code WASHED for 20% off plus free shipping. And that is code WASHED. So your way out here, boys, are going to be here on Thursday with special guest Megan Edwards. But until then, we out.
See you.